Hello, everybody. So wonderful that we are together again. Now, last episode, we just spoke about mind anatomy and mind physiology. Now, that's for different angle, for different perspective, not for the classical perspective, not for the conventional medicine of the brain, and very different way, simple way that everybody can understand. It's a plain way, very simple, and actually how the mind works in a process of taking decision. Now, today I'd like to talk about some of those decisions are deformed. In other words, the quality are deteriorated. Some of the information that we just take in, also they are deteriorated, they are distorted, they are affected. Now, so they are information which were picked up from different situation of living, different situation context, different circumstances. Now, those information base how our brain, our mind get the perception or judgment of that moment. Some of those information are distorted, are deformed. So even they are nice information, but because our mind look at them in a wrong way, give them wrong interpretation, give them wrong view. So those information are deformed. So they are picked up, deformed information, which are not the same as if they were picked or they were exactly from the quality of living, quality of that living moment, okay? So they get deformed and they are stored in a memory department as a deformed information, low quality, bad quality, I would say. Even though initially they were good, they came out from very nice, good circumstances, good environment, a good quality of living, but they get deformed. And I will tell you why. Now, if they are deformed already, so when they are processed, so the result of the processing, the decision is deformed also, is not the best decision. Now, when the decision is build up a future living episode based on the decision, the quality of that living episode is not the best. It's not a good quality. Okay. Now, so this is I would just name those elements which distorts the information. I call that brain mind, actually mind toxins. They are toxins which intoxicate the brain function in certain type of functioning. So they are toxins which affect the quality of the mind, how our brain picked the information. They deform the information due to these toxins. But also, if there was information at a good quality, they are picked up as a good quality. They are stored in the memory department, at the good quality information. When they are processed during the processing time, or during the moment when the information is processed and put as a decision, though decision is distorted also. Yeah. So decision is distorted. So the quality of the decision is affected. So when based on that decision is put into the quality, into the living episode. So the quality of that living episode, since the decision is distorted, is affected. Its quality of the decision is affected. So the quality of the living episode is affected. Sometimes, you see, those are affected by the same type of toxins. Mind toxins. Sometimes these toxins operate in two different levels. One, when the information is picked, is deformed right there before they are stored in a memory department, or when they are in a process of storing in a memory department. So they are distorted over there, they are affected over there, and they are affected also when the memory is processed and the decision is taken, they deform the decision. So sometimes just very simple, good quality information, it's affected twice. One time when it's picked and stored in the memory department, and one time when it's processed and based on the processing of that particular information, it's taken decision. So that decision is affected. It distorts. So it become a bad decision. And then based on the decision, the quality of living, it's bad, it's not good, you see. So those are those mental toxins. Now I'm going to tell you guys which are those toxins. And I will just tell you how it works. Now, down the road, we're going to work also in some situation when those toxins affect the brain. What happened with the brain? We'll go one by one. Okay, you see, what would you like you guys to know? That when the newborn, it comes out alive. When the newborn is just set in a mother's wound. Now, of course, it follow some of the follow one of some of the quality of the parents. Sometimes the best, sometimes so-so, depend. Now, so the baby comes out alive with a certain I would say hereditary brain elements, right? Now, those are good. This is wonderful. Now, but those are through life, going through different living. So when the baby absorb, because the baby are like a sponge, absorb everything. Sometimes they absorb good stuff, sometimes they absorb bad stuff. You see? Now when they absorb bad stuff, you know, in some situation of somebody's lying, the baby learn to lie. So now what the baby get from that particular episode of listening. Because even if you listen for 20 seconds, for 1 minute, is a living episode. So extract from that episode, extract something, a desire or type of lying. So then the baby is stored in the memory department, this element of lying element. Now at that time the toxin are planted inside newborn head. When the baby just live around some people that see that some people are really show some greed, right? So baby being in that episode, right? Living in this episode, seeing somebody who's greeding, want more and more and more and more. So the baby absorb that type of quality of information. So get from that particular episode of living next to somebody greeting. Well, not everybody get that. Some people do, some people don't. Now, depend how is the environment of the newborn. Depend if the environment is always honest people and good quality people. So the baby doesn't get those. It might get later, not necessarily the beginning of life. It might get when the baby is, when the newborn or whatever, the new person, it's a teenager, 15 or 18 or so. So it always, the human being mind, brain, is exposed to good or not good stuff. It always, those toxins get inside the brain, so become part of that person quality of thinking, because the thinking is deformed. People that are, I would say that intoxicate with certain toxin. So that toxin remain in their mind, and while those people, the process certain information, since the mind is intoxicated with their particular weakness. I call toxin, even though they are not really, toxins. It's just not physical toxin. It's just a way to think. I call toxin. It's the way to think. It's a deformed way to think, bad quality way to think, or wrong quality way to think. So the mind just the mind get affected by this toxin, and this toxin stays there unless the person get aware and eliminate. Of course, can be eliminated. The way came in, the same way can come out. But unfortunately, when really get chronic, it's very difficult. One, is very difficult to realize. Second, and it's very difficult to eliminate. When you realize, now that's different. It gets easier to eliminate. When you don't realize and you think this is the right way to lie, or to be greedy, or to be proud, to be vanitous, those are toxins. When people don't realize that they are wrong, that means they stay wrong all their life. So their quality of thinking, it's affected of their life. And I will tell a little bit later, maybe next episode, what happened in the brain when those toxins become chronic, and and how these toxins govern the brain, how the toxin distorts, so affect the brain work, because the brain has a work to do. So if that works, the healthy brain, it just is programmed to work certain way. But when the brain is affected by some of these toxins, or the mind is affected by some of these toxins, now the brain has to work much harder. And I will tell you what happened and how happened. Okay, so I would just say those toxins are taken in by whomever, by various people, somebody yes, somebody not, somebody early in their life, somebody in teenager, some people even later in their life. It's a matter how they get trained themselves based living through some circumstances. There are some people that are wonderful all their life, but at some point in their life, they become, they start having problem how to, take the decision, how they will be able to live in a society, how their personality, because actually the toxin just can affect the personality. Good personality is a good mind which work well without being infested or affected by those toxins. Now, bad personality is the person has a bad personality, is a person that their mind is affected by those toxins. Those toxins govern their decision, govern the mind in the process of taking the decision. So sometimes their decision, they like their decision, because if they are wrong, they like wrong things. But those decisions, if they are wrong, affect the people around them. It's very nice how I was talking in the future. Somebody asked me, why you feel comfortable next to some people, but why you feel uncomfortable next to some other people? Yeah. So I'll we'll do a small episode on that one. It's just 6, 7 minutes, 8 minutes talk. Now, so you guys understand. Now, those toxins are absorbed by very young age, at a very young age, or middle age, or later in our life, depend in the environment that the person live. It depends on the circumstances, what the person just perform. You see, so those toxins are incorporated, even themselves. They get in the memory department, so they are memorized. But they are memorized, they are put in a memory department at a different level, at the high level that is above above the information, the level where supplies, which can govern the processing of information, govern our mind and influence the quality of the decision taken by our mind. Okay, so that is how these things works. I think it's complicated to understand, but get simple to understand. Those they call toxins, though they are not classical toxins, are just I would say more essence of information that we picked sometime in our life, and those become get absorbed in our mind, some as a information, but much more than information, as a governing essence, which control the quality of our mind while taking the decision. So they really are so powerful that sometimes they affect the process of extracting the information through some living episode. So they are very powerful. And sometimes we give a wrong interpretation. Let's see, we just go to some beautiful show, and it's a wonderful show, it's a nice thing. But somebody who is affected, who is a pain in the neck, somebody who just don't like anything, somebody who just, look down to everything. So that means their mind is affected. So the information that take to that beautiful show, they just say, well, they are horrible, they are terrible things. So the information are planted, they are stored in the memory department, and that's it. Anything in their mind, in their life, in their taking decision, that show was horrible. So whatever you talk about that show, taking decision, if you're going to see the show again, or if you're going to see another show the same, and so on, so the information, the processing information is decided that, that show is horrible, we don't go back there, or the show is horrible, if it's like that one, another show is horrible, I don't go there. So you see how this works. So those toxins which affect the mind, the part of the mind which process the information, take decision, so those toxins work double, whether when we extract the information and we just change, as I said on the beginning of this video, changes the quality of information, decrease the value of the quality of information, and also affect on the information is processed. So when the mind takes the decision based on the information, that decision also is affected, is mutilated, it's distorts. So the living episode based on that decision also is going to be not good quality. Again, for that person which are affected by this toxin, which their mind is set to function this way, for those people, so whatever decision takes, they are a good toxin. They are good, I would say that good decision, and they think that is the right way, even though it's bad and it's wrong. You see, so it's if somebody say, well, but how you know when it's bad or when it's wrong? I will just very simple. It's anybody can decide it on their self if they become honest. Because, my dear friends, our brain is programmed to live based of some law, which is called honesty law. Some people say the law of God. I don't know if it's law of God or it's law of whom, but anyway, the brain is programmed, it's created to work honestly. Now the human being starts losing the honesty right after birth. You see, very simple. Now, the brain functions the best when really work honestly. Now, but those babies that are born and they stay honest are the babies that become genius. You see, the baby, when after they born, little by little, they lose their value, their geniality. They lose the value of being genius. So the genius getting lost when the newborn, when the baby, when the young kid start taking in from different circumstances, from this living episode, how to lie, how to criticize, how to be dishonest, how to hate, how to, be proud. It's all those little things just move the newborn, move the baby away from their great value of being genius. They lose the geniality. Now, if those kids, if the parents are so special and understand this process and keep the baby away from people who lie, who cheat, who does bad, wrong things, now those kids, they may not have very much life experience, knowing how to behave in certain circumstances, but they preserve their genius. Now, and what happens when you are genius? When you are genius, the brain works much better, because it's not intoxicated with those toxins. You see, the brain is programmed to really live. It's very important to know that one. The brain is programmed to create and to process the best when is not intoxicated, when their mind is not affected by those toxins. You'll see people who are super honest, even though they look dummy, but those people are great creators. That's why the greatest artists, they are honest and they create wonderful values. Now, you see, so this is the difference of being genius and not being. Simple. It's just these toxins affect the quality of our mind that process the information and changing the decision, and the decision are not the best quality because they are affected by those wrong ingredients, I would say, by those toxins. Now, the kids that are kept away from certain environment where their mind is not supply, is not affected, they don't absorb in different circumstances. If the mind doesn't absorb those toxins, lying, cheating, stealing, hating, jealousy, envy, you understand that when the baby is not, it's important to know this. So this is different by somebody who is a genius and somebody who is not. Even though the brain power is the same, even though the wonderful person are either one of them, right? But the wonderful person is not affected by these toxins. The people that are less wonderful, their mind is affected those toxins. So even the quality of personality, it decreases when those toxins get inside the brain and affect the quality of thinking, quality of mind. Thinking or mind, I mean, thinking is just is a process which develop under the mind, our mind. Okay, so that is the thing. We're going to talk about that. So next episode, we're going to talk about how works each toxin. In this is each one of those. I would say that negative ingredients which affect the quality of our thinking, which affect the brain processing. Okay. Okay, my friends, I'm very sorry talking such unpleasant subject, but we can learn from it. We learn how to be nice people. We learn how to be genius, because even though you can become genius after you are 20, after you are 30, if you understand how these toxins affect the quality of brain, you can become a genius. Anytime, anything is possible. If you understand the process, if you understand how the mind works, how the brain works, anything is processing anytime. You see, I heard a lot of, now, even here, see, I heard about instant healing, miraculous healing. No, there is not such things. It's just if you understand certain things, how to take out from your brain certain things, how to put inside the brain certain things, then anything is possible. Brain is an unbelievable machine, is a very, very special machine. It can do much more than we can think of. Okay, my friends. So listen to this episode a couple of times to be able to understand. It's very complicated. Even for me, it's very complicated to really to go in details and to express all those things, because it's something else. It's unusual things. Okay, okay, my friends. So see you next time. In meanwhile, I tell you good luck to see this one. Okay, see you next time. Bye bye.